Hey, this is Chris, and we are taking a look at a couple questions here in section 3 of an SAT practice test. I'll try to put a downloadable link in the description below, but for now, let's go ahead and dive into question 6. And on this question, we see a square, and they tell us it has an area of 100, which means that each side is going to be 10. The area of a square is side squared. So each side is 10. And then it says Q is the midpoint of AC and R is the midpoint of BD, which basically lets us know that each of those split each side in half. So we know that each of these would be 5 for each of those smaller portions that we see there. And then they want to know the area of the shaded region. So that's going to be this parallelogram that we see in the middle here. And so for a parallelogram, the way that we calculate area of a parallelogram is base times height. And what's important to note for a parallelogram is that the height that you're talking about in that area calculation, this is going to be your straight vertical or horizontal height, whichever it is, but whatever's perpendicular to the base is your height. It's not the slant height. So a lot of people on this question, I know instinctively, they see the 5 and the 10 for this triangle, and it's easy to kind of get locked in right here and want to do Pythagorean theorem and try to solve for the length of QD. But for this question, we don't need it. We want to think of it as staying zoomed out, even just mentally the way we process this. We want to look at it as a parallelogram, and we can treat these two pieces here that we know are 5. That's like our base. Our base is 5. And then that vertical height, again, we don't care about the slant height, we care about the vertical height. So that would be like here, if you cut right through that parallelogram, that would be 10, just like this side of the square is 10. So we would have, for base times height, it's just going to be 5 times 10, which is 50. And that may almost seem too easy. And if you're looking at that and you're thinking, well, that's what I thought, but it just seemed too easy, just keep in mind where you are in the section. So from a strategy perspective, if you're on question 6 out of 15, you're just past that first third, so you're starting to get into the medium level difficulty questions, but we're still in the early portions of that multiple choice. And it's okay if we get to a question like this and our first instinct happens to give us a correct answer, because it is supposed to be a question that's not that hard. The hard part here is avoiding doing unnecessary calculation. The hard part here is seeing it the right way and recognizing that that shape is a parallelogram, and we can do base and its perpendicular height of 5 and 10, multiply it together, and get answer choice B. Up next, we'll cover some more questions from this practice test.